Once there was a man, George, who lived with his wife, Linda, and their 3 children. John was in 5th grade, Julie in 4th, and James in 3rd. George worked in an office. But 2 weeks ago, he lost his job. Since then, he had been trying to find work again. But no one had hired him yet. Linda was also worried. But she tried to comfort him. One evening, George sipping his tea. John was doing his homework there. Julie and James were watching cartoons. Linda sat beside George. She held her cup of tea in both hands. George sighed.
Linda, how will I pay next month's school fee?
Linda spoke softly.
You might get a job by then.
George shook his head.
But what if I don't?
Linda said softly.
Don't worry. You will.
George nodded. John sighed quietly. That night, John took out his small money box. He opened it and counted the money.
It's only enough for my fee,
he whispered. He looked at Julie and James. They were fast asleep.
but what about their fees?
He whispered again.
And what if Dad doesn't get a job soon?
He put the money back in the box and placed it in the cupboard. Then he lay down on his bed.
What should I do?
He closed his eyes. The next day during break time, John sat with his friend William under a tree. He took out his lunch and started eating slowly. William watched him for a moment.
You okay?
He asked. John shook his head.
Dad lost his job. He's trying to find a new one. But nothing yet. What if we can't pay the school fees?
William's face turned serious.
Oh. Maybe you should talk to the principal.
Sir Richard?
John asked.
Yeah.
William said.
Maybe he'll forgive the fee.
John nodded slowly. That evening, John spoke.
Mom, I know you and Dad are worried.
He continued.
I think I should talk to Sir Arthur. Maybe he can forgive our fees.
Linda gently shook her head.
John, your school is expensive. I don't think Sir Arthur will say yes.
John looked at her.
But Mom, can we at least try?
Linda paused. Then she smiled softly.
Of course.
Inside, she felt a little sad. Her son was just a child, yet doing his best. The next day, as soon as recess began, John looked at William.
I'm going to the principal's office.
William smiled.
Best of luck.
Then he walked toward the playground. John took a deep breath and headed to the office. He knocked, then stepped inside. Sir Arthur looked up and smiled.
What happened? Dear?
John stood still for a second.
Sir, I'm John. My brother James. And my sister Julie also study here. My dad lost his job. He hasn't found a new one yet. He can't pay our school fee next month. Can you please forgive it? Just until he finds a job?
Sir Arthur took off his glasses and placed them on the table.
I'm really sorry to hear that.
He said gently.
But this is a private school. I can't forgive your fees.
John lowered his eyes.
Okay, sir.
He walked out quietly. At the playground, William saw him and understood. John sat on a bench and spoke.
Sir Arthur said no.
William sat beside him.
Don't worry. Uncle will get a job soon.
He handed John a sandwich.
Here, take a bite.
John smiled and took a bite.
It's delicious.
That day, John came home with Julie and James. They were laughing and talking, but John was quiet. Linda watched him from the kitchen. He was trying to smile.
Sir Arthur said no. I'm sure.
She thought, her heart heavy. The next day, John and William sat during break. William said,
You should sell sandwiches. Set up a small stall outside your house.
John looked at him, surprised.
Me?
William smiled.
I believe you can.
John thought for a moment, then spoke.
I have a little money. I'll talk to Mom and Dad.
That evening, John stood in front of his parents.
Mom, Dad,
He hesitated.
I want to set up a sandwich stall outside our house.
George said.
But I'll get a job soon.
John said.
Please, Dad, let me try.
George sighed.
Okay.
Linda smiled gently. Julie shouted.
Yay!
On Sunday, John went to the store with Linda. They bought bread, cheese, butter, eggs, and some fresh vegetables. It was all for the sandwich stall. When they came home, John washed his hands and started the work. He boiled eggs, sliced tomatoes, and started making the sandwiches. Linda showed him how to wrap the sandwiches nicely.
Be neat and fast.
She said.
Customers don't like waiting.
By afternoon, everything was ready. Julie and James helped him carry the table and boxes outside. They set up the stall outside their house. Julie made a sign, fresh sandwiches. James stood beside the table, ready to help. Soon, people started coming. A man from next door bought 2 sandwiches. A woman passing by bought one for her son. More people came. Some kids, some workers, and even an old uncle from the corner street. By night, every sandwich was sold. John, Julie, and James packed everything and took it back inside. Just then, George came home. They counted the money. Then John gave the money to George. George hesitated.
It's your money. John.
But John said,
No, Dad. It's yours.
George slowly took the money. The next day, John told William about the stall. William grinned. Soon, word spread in school. John's classmates became curious. One by one, they started visiting his stall after school. Soon, the next month began. One morning, John went to the school reception. He stood in line, holding the money in his hand. When his turn came, he stepped forward and paid the fee, his, James's, and Julie's. Miss Ava took the money and wrote the receipts. While she was writing, a student nearby said,
John, I heard your sandwiches are really tasty. I'll come in the evening.
Another student laughed.
Yes, you should. His sandwiches are so delicious.
Miss Ava handed John the receipts. John took them and headed to class. Sir Arthur sat in his office, looking at his laptop screen. His eyes stopped on one name, John.
John's fee is paid.
He picked up the phone and called the reception.
Miss Ava, come to my office, please.
A few minutes later, Miss Ava walked in. Sir Arthur looked at her.
Has John paid the school fee?
He asked. Miss Ava nodded.
Yes, sir.
Sir Arthur muttered.
But how?
Miss Ava replied gently.
Sir, I heard some students talking. He's been selling sandwiches after school.
Sir Arthur smiled.
That's a good boy.
One night, George came home happily.
I got a job.
John's face lit up. Linda's eyes filled with tears. Julie and James shouted with joy. George looked at John.
John, I think you should stop selling sandwiches now.
John smiled.
Dad, I'll stop if it affects my studies. But right now, I enjoy it.
George nodded. 1 month later, final exams began. After a busy week, the exams were over. Soon, the results day arrived. Students sat in the hall, waiting. After the top ranks were announced, Sir Arthur stepped forward. He smiled.
Now, I want to give a special award for the best son. John, please come.
Sir Arthur said. John froze. He looked at his parents, William, and his siblings. They were smiling and clapping. Linda said,
Go.
John walked to the stage. Sir Arthur handed him the award. Then he said,
John helped his family with courage. If you were my son, I'd be proud.
The hall grew quiet.
I'm giving him a full scholarship,
Sir Arthur added.
and I will pay for his college too.
George and Lily wiped their tears. John stood on stage, holding the award, eyes shining. Moral: Being responsible makes you shine.